Okay, this is a pretty wide transfer shovel. It's this tempered featherweight. I'm not sure where this shovel's from or how old it is, but it's gonna be pretty useful for me for transferring some gravel. It seems pretty heavy duty though. It's got this area here. It seems like all the newer shovels are just one sheet of steel stamped and bent and rolled and whatever, and I have a hole here. This actually has a piece of metal like lodged in there and welded, it looks like, so it seems pretty heavy duty. So normally on a handle like this I would think about restoring it. This one's really dry and cracking. I would think about oiling it, maybe sanding it down. However, on the end it's actually like broken here. I could probably break that pretty easily. Well, it's still decently strong, but yeah, obviously, that's not satisfactory. I don't want to use that, and I probably get a splinter. So I got a new handle here. These are oddly expensive at the store. This is about $13, but it's just a 48-inch shovel handle, so should fit pretty well in there. And we'll use this pin that they gave us to pin it. So first thing we're gonna do is get this handle off of this shovel. This should be common sense, but when you're using an angle grinder, always wear safety glasses. Really not worth it. I wear hearing protection too. Okay, so with that pin removed, should just be able to pop that head right off. So what I'm gonna do is see where it sits. It was sitting right there and right here. That's about the same size. So I'm actually gonna go in and mark roughly, just with my knife or marker or something, where this one ended, and I'll cut this one off. Okay, so I have the handle cut to length. Before we continue, we want to do a very important step, and that is get the varnish off of this handle. Clamp this in the vise, and I'll take a really sharp knife of good quality, and I'm just going to scrape and just hold the knife edge perpendicular to the wood and just pull, and you see that. Okay, so now we have our handle all de-lacquered. It's pretty smooth. That knife finish gives it a really, like almost a faceted feel to it. It's really nice. So just do a thorough job to get all that off of there. We can oil this up really nicely. So see, it's not quite seating all the way. So we can see this gap here. So it tells me I need to go ahead and rasp this bottom area a little bit. Just using a nice rasp. Just go to town. Okay, so what we're gonna do is shaved it down a little bit. We're gonna just give that a whack on the ground, kind of see how we're looking. So obviously we got about an inch left. Okay, so we're gonna take it off and kind of see if we can tell where it's hitting. So you can see a little bit right there it's rubbing, and right there it's rubbing. And we're just gonna kind of see those spots where we see that it's rubbing and file those off. File them down just a little bit. Once you get it within an inch of being seated fully, take your time. The better this shape is to match this, the sturdier the shovel will be. Kind of anywhere I'm seeing dark spots from the inside of that. Okay, we made a little bit of progress there. Okay, we have this thing seated pretty well. As you can see, it's a really tight fit all the way around. And that's important, and it's a nice tight fit all the way inside the shaft too, all the way up here. I know that by trial and error, taking it out, I could see that it was rubbing all the way. There's contact points all the way inside the shaft. So, and I just gave it a bunch of good strong hits, make sure that it's seated. And now we're gonna drill a hole where that pin goes. Okay, this pin looks like it's about a 7/32 diameter. So we're gonna try to get this thing lined up nice and vertical so we can just drill straight down, hopefully reach that other hole. We got pretty close, so I'll drill it out from this side. I'd like to have hit that a little bit better, but it's okay. It basically, you know, it needs to flare out on the backside. So how I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna cut this off a little bit shorter. And I'm gonna heat it up red hot and I'm gonna hammer it and flare it out. So we're gonna put that pin through. Cut a little bit too much off, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, so we're gonna heat the end up, then we're gonna end up hammering. Just get it nice and hot. I'm holding it in a vise so I can slip it through that hole right when it's red hot. Give it a little more heat. And hammer. Okay, so here it is finished. Got the head side here of that pin, and then if you can see our it's mushroomed out there, retaining it. I would have liked to have had more material, but I ended up cutting it off a little shorter than I wanted, so worked with what I had. Not worth getting a new pin made and everything. So yeah, so this thing's in good shape now. We got a really nice tight fit. It's sturdy as a rock. I mean, there's no wiggle at all. This should have been tight before you put that pin in. So remember that the pin doesn't tighten it. It might help a little, but it's a retention mechanism. So this needs to be really tight, and take your time fitting this. And this shovel handle will last a very long time, especially if you keep it oiled. I want to just give it a little bit of a polish. I'm not gonna go crazy on this thing. It's gonna be scooping gravel its whole life, so it'll naturally polish it as we do that. So I'm not worried, but we'll just go ahead and double check. We don't want any splinters. And let's get this top while we're here. Boiled linseed oil, drizzle it on here, and we're just going to spread this along the handle all the way up. Just a nice light coat. And let that sit in for a second or two. I'll go ahead and even put some on the metal, can't hurt it. So like I said, I'm not gonna, this isn't a full restoration. I'm not sure what I just said. This isn't a full restoration. I love those videos and they're very satisfying, but reality is this shovel does not need a full restoration. At that point, I'd be wasting my time. It's fun. If you're doing it for that, go ahead and do it, you know, if it's just for fun. But I need this thing to work. I'm gonna use it tomorrow. So we'll get our handle and we'll just kind of wipe it off, that excess it'll kind of get gummy. And yeah, anyway, so we can keep putting layers on and layers on just every time we get a minute, basically. Okay, so there's our shovel. Nice and smooth handle, new handle, seated really well. It's sturdy as can be, and it holds a lot of material, so I like it. I feel like we did a good job. It'll naturally polish out a little bit more. Somebody's using this for concrete, and so yeah, it'll be pretty good. It'll be a good shovel. It's a tempered featherweight. It says 2 on it, so, and it looks like it was painted green at some point, which is kind of cool. Cool. So there's your shovel. Real quick little video on how I like to put a new handle on a shovel. So hope you got something from it. See you later.